Hello, everyone. This is Akhier, and I'm going to actually be reviewing a book because I actually have a bit of a hard time doing the actual reviews on the websites, and I really should. And it's really good if you read stories on a place like Royal Road and you enjoy it, review it. It's an amazing help, wonderful thing. You don't have to write much. In fact, you see the review I did. It doesn't have much on it. Anyway, this first story that I'm reviewing is My Only Familiar Is Me. Caveat, a late blooming evolution story with a bunch of little tags here: urban fantasy, lit RPG, progression, superheroes, war and military, action, adventure, comedy, local protagonist, male lead, and system invasion. Right down here to about the world does not care about my mortgage. Normal people awaken their superpowers in their teenage years. I got mine at 32, along with the draft notice from the Department of Defense. I have 90 days before deployment to a dungeon, flying muscles, and a class that everyone considers useless. Class Trainer. Available familiars, 0. But the system made a critical mistake. It allowed me to assign a familiar to myself. Now every cell in my body is a pet that can be trained. Now I can issue special commands to my own biology, fall asleep instantly, ignore pain limits, evolve faster than any young genius. I am my own trainer, and I will not stop until I turn this old body into the perfect weapon. What to expect? Older MC, slow burn, no harem. I've been actually enjoying this quite a bit, though this about is a little off. I assume it's either an early draft or just selling the sizzle, even if the steak isn't quite matching it. Not that it's bad, it's just some of these things are a little exaggerated. For instance, the now every cell in my body is a pet that can be trained. Maybe that's for the future, but at the moment, how it is, the MC has class trainer, and they can select familiars to train. Caveat being that the familiar has to agree to it. So the cells in your body can't agree to it, though it does allow him to set himself as a familiar. And the special commands are basically like mind control to force the familiar to do what you want, which kind of a problem because you can't just pick up a rat and be like, be my familiar, rat. The rat doesn't know what you're wanting. It can't be like, oh, here's a prompt. Yes, I'll be a familiar. So good thing he can select himself, or else it'd be a pretty less than useful power for the moment. And when it says the government found out, very much so. This is the first chapter, and it's like starts with just like, to Thomas Ross, we know you have powers. This notice informs you that the monitoring system of the United States Department of Defense recorded the manifestation of anomalous abilities in your person, hereafter referred to as awakening, classified under blah, 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 blah. Basically, they're like, hey, we noticed that. And then if we come down here, I reread the message for the fist. No. 3 hours ago, I discovered I had abilities. Only 3 hours. So yeah, the government is on top of the ball for once in this story. Now, urban fantasy, it's modern. It's not really apocalypse, though it'd be post-apocalypse. The basic idea is that sometime in the past, it's only a few decades, I can't remember the exact, rifts opened up, magic comes in, but also there's monsters coming out of the rifts, so, And it's not just regular monsters, this is the whole system invasion is a good way to put it. It's beings from other planets where the planet is dying. This is all revealed later on in the story. It's a bit of a spoilery, but it doesn't really affect the story up until you learn about it. But yeah, the basic setting is people are invading, monsters are invading, so governments and stuff are training up superheroes. The setting works so far. Now, obviously, it is still a bit early. We are only on chapter 42. The answer to everything. But yeah, the setting so far sticks together really well. the way everything is coming together seems like the author has thought about what these kind of superpowers and the way they're manifesting would have it's good, excuse me, would affect the world, and also how it wouldn't. And just in general, I enjoy what I've read so far. The main character is doing all right. As my review title, which I haven't posted yet, but I will at the end, an interesting version of a trainer power, which there are other stories, I will admit, where the hero gets some kind of training power, like basically just everyone wants to be Pokemon Master, but what about the Pokemon? And sometimes you are the Pokemon as well. And this is the case here. And yeah, my general review that I've written so far, story has been decent enough, has a decent enough world to support one of my favorite subversions of the monster tamer trainer trope. Excuse me. And anything specific I want to add on here? His solution is relatively unexplored. There aren't many stories that go into this subversion of the training ability. Most people do end up writing the story where, and then I get Pokemon. But, yeah, choosing yourself, having control over it, which is basically mind control to some extent, or maybe not control, yeah, it's mind control, basically. So a little iffy on if you'd use it on someone else, but using it on yourself, especially with the boosted powers and the fact that it lets you be optimal. Like, very early on, the main character goes to a gym and basically says, special command, do an optimal workout. And basically just Fugue states through a pretty impressive workout routine where it's just like every rep is very optimal. Which, even if you have the willpower and the mind to be like, just go into the gym and just crank out everything perfectly, you are still human. You aren't going to be perfect. And combined with like a percentage increase to how effective it is, the main character takes full advantage of how that works. And I'm honestly, the one power that he used, the one thing he uses this power for, I am jealous of. He's like, okay, me, go to sleep for 8 hours and wake up, or I think he says 8 hours, or maybe just like, go to sleep and wake up when you're fully rested. Oh, I want that power. I must admit, while some of the giant world-shattering abilities you see in stories like this are cool, the powers that I would like for myself tend to be more like, I don't want Meteor Storm, I want Prestidigitation, because it's so cool and just has all the little side things. It's like, oh yeah, clean that. Soup a little not salty enough, saltier. I would love that. And here, just being able to be like, oh, it's bedtime. I'm not going to lay in bed tossing about. No, I'm just going to be like, go to sleep. Wake up 8 hours later, perfectly rested. Or like maybe you're one of those lucky people who can go to bed for 4 hours and be like, oh yeah, I'm really good. Hell, maybe this power, it doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe later on it'll be more of the case. But like, I could totally see a power like this where it's like, body, just go to sleep, have an optimal sleep. That could potentially be like, oh yeah, you only sleep for 4 hours because you just like optimally sleep. Because the power goes beyond just like having the person being affected going and doing a thing. There is definitely a forcing the body and mind to do something in a way that even if they were wanting to do it in the first place, like I said with the optimal workout, you're not going to like perfectly do every rep. It's like you're going to get tired. You're going to like not every time like get it exactly right, exercising all the muscles in the arm properly. But this power seems like it does that to some extent. And it's even on the mental thing because it's like he's like learning a language and he's forcing himself. And then I'm not going to spoil more stuff, but some of the mental stuff that he does as in like, not mental as in crazy, but like special command, do this thing with your mind. It is quite interesting. And he used it in a way that one of the things that he sets up for his mental state after learning a language gets a little too intense on the memory front. I had not considered that use. And honestly, it is a really good idea. So I'm very hopeful for what the author does with this. But yeah, so far I've enjoyed it. Definitely if you enjoy the kind of present day, near future superheroes kind of setting where it's not like Superman and stuff, but it's like more grunge, more the world's actually reacting to the superheroes and what they imply, along with having like the outside threat of magical invasion and whatnot. But like, this is a living and breathing superhero world and not just like, oh hey, look, there's a Mr. Fantastic and his levitating car. Why don't we have levitating cars? I really like how another book I read put it. The useless genius. Where you figure out this amazing thing, but no one else can, so it's pointless. I'll have to review those stories too, but right now I'm starting with new stories that I just recently found, just because boosting them a little bit at this point is more helpful than being like, oh yeah, this finished story I read years ago. Haha, yeah, it's lovely. So yeah, please like and subscribe. I plan to do more reviews like this. I have a few books already lined up that I just read recently, so that's a thing. Besides that, I've also been reading some of Lovecraft's works. Right now I've got The Rats in the Walls, or Rats in the Walls, or just Wall? I think it's Walls multiple. And the Keller Out of Space. I plan to do more of them. I missed this last week just because kind of busy. That's a thing. I also have been reading SCP entries, so that's fun. Anyway, this is Akhier, and I'm signing off.